Ben,
Um, what about me? Hold up. I'm trying to get this shit started real quick. I'm trying to start this shit. Right now, we're having technical difficulties though with going live. Like fucking hardcore. Holy shit, this is not good. Alright, good, we're live. Okay, good. This is perfect. Alright.
genuine.
Genuine, yeah, fuck yeah, genuine, man. Fucking. Yeah,
Genuine,
we're lame
genuine.
as hell. We're lame as fuck. I mean, like, we could just start it, but like, I don't know, man. I want to do an introduction. I love that shit, bro. Like, I love when people, yeah,
It's your
man,
boy!
yeah, man.
Everybody's your boy. Every YouTuber I listened to from
What's
2015
up,
to like
boys?
last year was like, yo, it's your boy. Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy. Yo,
It's
it's
your
your boy. Yo, it's your
boy.
boy. Yo, it's your boy.
It's your boy.
It's your boy.
It's your boy. It's your boy here. Chiron. So actually, I
Super
wanted to
Mario
talk about a
Chiron.
few things. Starting off,
Mario.
are you familiar with this is more music related, but are you familiar with Eternal Take? Or you
I have
know
no idea
about
who that is.
so this rapper has not dropped any songs for 2 years, and hold up. So this rapper has not dropped any songs for 2 years, and he like everybody's been basically begging him to drop an album, and his album just dropped, and I don't know. It's like it
Mixed
goes to
reviews.
like how artists really how their shit gets leaked, you know, like how artists don't make money because their shit is getting leaked because all of the songs on there were had to be remixes because his whole album got leaked right before he
Right.
posted it or was gonna post it. So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting, you know, seeing some like that happen, you know.
Taylor
Uh,
Swift got all of her music stolen by her record label. I'm pretty sure she's going through a whole process now where she's going to re-record everything from Teardrops on My Guitar to Look What You Made Me Do. So she's going to record her entire body of work so she can have it all back. She's going to like remix
oh
it.
wow, no, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's
She
like it's
started
like
music
almost
late writing
asking
in
for
high
too
school.
much
She
work.
started writing in her almost 30s.
I mean, a lot of these people though, like they get very shitty contracts. Like their whole record labels just fuck them because the record labels just sees them as slaves.
Well, yeah, it's like the whole Chip Skylark deal. I mean, you're probably too young to remember that, but it was Fairly Odd Parents, and they had that pop star on the show, Chip Skylark, and they had that episode where Timmy basically hangs out with him behind the scenes and realizes that he's just a broke loser, nobody, and the record label owns the cars, the ladies, the studio, the apartments, the cash.
Yeah, they're
Because
the
most
ones
people don't
that
understand what they're doing when they get into it. They sign a deal, they get taken for a ride, they get left behind.
yeah.
A lot of child stars, they have their money cleaned out by their families and their parents and the ones who are their guardians before they're even of legal age. So a lot of them have to
Yeah.
end up emancipating themselves because they end up like Drew Barrymore. I think she legally emancipated herself at like 14. Once you're legally emancipated, you can get an apartment on your own. You can pretty much do whatever you want. You are a legal, law-abiding adult. There's nothing really to emancipation or celebrities because it all just kind of seems like even as a kid, that world was more like, yeah, that goes on and those people do things, but it never seems real to me. It's just all kind of like people are always like, they say that cliche of bread and circus, but it's like once you stop caring about, like me personally, I don't even care about music anymore, really, much listen to it. Like instrumentals here and there, or some music nowadays, but so much of it is just hierarchical garbage. It's just
Or
asking people what they want and looking to build what people want to hear rather than what the artist wants to make, rather than being territorial. It's
Yeah.
just very much, it's like spits in the face of the muse who uses you as an instrument. It's not you creating the art, but most people are too pompous to understand that. Like Death Stranding is one where I was talking about where he just basically spat in the face of his muse. He just like took the wheel and ran the thing off the road.
Yeah, and then like I mean everything's getting changed and censored now anyway, so it's like no, even if they wanted to do what they wanted, had fun with it, like they're updating GTA and fucking making it so you can't even fucking hit them in the wrench with
Yeah,
the
that
balls.
that blows my mind. I can't believe they've taken the agency away. I mean, people could be like, what's wrong with you? You want to hit people in the wrench with them? Like, no, I want the agency
In
to be
some
able to
countries,
act like an
apparently,
adult.
in some countries they took that whole torture scene out of GTA fucking
They
completely
banned
out.
Minecraft in Turkey. They banned Minecraft isn't even allowed in Turkey. It's been banned there since 2015, I think, 2014 or 15. Like,
Probably some PETA bullshit, like they were like
yeah, I think
animals.
it was because the animals. Yeah, you can kill them for their meat. Somebody said shit about Breath of the. I mean, PETA went after GTA because their animals were so realistic.
Yeah,
It's like, wow, but I mean, nobody kills more
fucking
animals than
hunting.
PETA does.
I don't think I follow with that. How
PETA puts
do?
down puppies and dogs and animals. Like, they'll do euthanasia on animals just because they believe in, like, the overpopulation and overcrowded shelters and things. So they believe in more, like, we'll euthanize 100 dogs
A
and we'll
hundred.
get rid of those states.
Oh wow.
Don't quote me on
I
that. Like I
mean,
said, we're just a game channel first and foremost, so anything else beyond that. But I know that's what I've heard is that a lot of people are like, yeah, PETA kills animals because they'd rather euthanize them than have them suffer, which is kind of
Isn't
ironic, I think.
euthanization the shit where it's like they
You just put them to sleep.
I thought it was the freezing shit. It was like they
No, that is
that weird as fuck.
cryogenics,
Yeah, like they would like freeze them and like they would be
where they say
stale.
Walt Disney's brain is on ice underneath Disney World or whatever. It's in like a vault, one of those like Fallout-esque
Oh
vaults with
yeah, like
glass.
he
You see
tried to freeze
steam emanating
himself
from
to
the
come
bottom.
later.
You're
I
walking into
heard
the room.
I heard about that shit. Like he
This
tried
way,
to,
gang.
yeah, I heard he tried to freeze himself and fucking. I don't know how true that really is though, but I mean,
I mean, who knows how true anything really is? What you can know for sure is that you'll never know the truth of probably what really matters, because that's the thing that matters is that you don't.
yeah,
That's what I think is the one truth you can know is that they'll never let you know shit. You can chase your tail in the dark for the rest of your life. You could chase theories around. You can chase Pleiadians or the alleged secret space program they've had since 1940, or the Skywalker. No, what is it? Luke,
Luke
Skinwalker
Skywalker.
Ranch.
I don't know about
Uh,
that. Yeah,
Skinwalker Ranch, man, is like the number one cryptid paranormal like hotspot. It's like Mecca for
Mecca for
everything from
paranormal. Oh, I mean,
yeah, it's like portals coming out of the sky, like werewolves,
fucking
aliens, ghosts, like Skinwalker Ranch. If you haven't got into that and a lot of the stories on that, like this was more of the stuff like cryptids and the
yeah.
unknown and like coast to coast, like Art Bell and stuff like that. I mean, if you want to hear some crazy shit, then you listen to old reruns of Coast to Coast. But that stuff is more stuff that I haven't been into since I was like 13. Because that stuff is just you will chase that dragon forever until you realize that
Or
we'll
that
never know if
rabbit,
werewolves are
as some
real. We'll
people
never
know.
know if
You chase
the
the
rabbit is real.
rabbit.
We'll never know what the white rabbit is, even though some people are like the white rabbit is the key to it all. But that gets into that shit with like all the deep web stuff and all the Pizzagate stuff and everything else. And I'm not even going to try to elaborate on that. If anybody wants to look that up, they can, because that's
That's
like a
not.
whole other conversation.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. I just find it crazy though that they fucking update the game and take out something that was already in the game, like years later. Like it
Yeah, it's
just,
a the cliche thing to say is slippery slope, but it very much is what we're on right now with that, because imagine they can do that with any game now. Like they just go back and they're like, well, we took the Little Sisters out of BioShock because we thought it endangered children, thus ruining like the crux of those games.
Because you
they
can
can say
kill
that
them or
we
spare
took
them,
the
right?
hookers. We took the hookers. We got rid of the hooker code in all the Grand Theft Auto games because it's sexist to women.
Yeah, they're fucking. They took the. Well, actually, I could see them doing that. They take the
You can
hookers
no
out.
longer control your breast size, or you can no longer get naked in Saints Row because it's sexist or it's inappropriate, or they could go back and take out all of the boy characters in some online shooter because there's too many white male characters in this online free-to-play
Like
game.
what they tried to pull with The Witcher, movie where they fucking.
Yeah, they were
Where
trying to
they.
make Siri black. And again,
Damn.
they try to. The moment people hear you say that, like, they were trying to put a black in the show. It's like, no, because they know exactly what they're doing when they have that type of programming and that type of narrative working against you and yours in the real world. It's like when they put in an. It's from Russian prose. It's, I'm pretty sure, a Swedish-based literature and based off the legend of Geralt and all these characters within that realm. There are no black people in that time and place in that region. Like, it just historically was not the case. I mean, they lost their shit over Kingdom, or what's that one that was a.
Well, the whole thing about like that in anything was just where you were born. Like if you were born in Africa, the fucking.
But it's whatever. But it's for specific groups, and it is specifically white people at this point because it's like you say that like when you're like, oh, they were gonna make Siri black. It's like it's like they have you sounding like people think I'm like fucking over here like what do they call it, like Uncle Ruckus or like Jim Crow laws over here. I'm calling for fucking to bring back slavery. It's like, no, man, I'm just isn't it fucking funny how they can make Ariel black, like Ariel the Little Mermaid, now it's gonna be a black girl, and now it's gonna be, and that's I'm pretty sure it's either Welsh or Dutch, but it's a folktale from that region, from like European white, like mostly Anglo-Saxon. Like it's not, but they can do whatever they want because again, you have to perceive, like it's that you can't be racist to a group who has perceived power and privilege, which is completely Marxist rewriting and redefining of words. That's like, I think in a way, this type of stuff that happens in 1984. It's probably not newspeak, but it's somewhere along those lines of double plus on good. But it doesn't really matter. Like it's gonna keep going the way it goes, and the pendulum just swings either one way or the other. But it swings regardless.
For all we know, this might not even be the end goal. Maybe it's like, because if you think about it, you have to empower someone to unpower someone, you know. So maybe this is like just some fucking really fucked mind game. Who knows?
Yeah, it all is.
Because people that feel empowered, the second something.
Try to improve your situation and look after yours, because that's
as an independent person.
As George Carlin said, you may as well enjoy what you got because it's never gonna get any better. It's a big club and you ain't in it.
Yeah. May as well make your own club. If that's even possible.
Yeah. So they come and shut you down because you guys are gathering together.
Yeah. Because people can't gather together anymore.
Yeah, certain types.
Like if you hear some of this shit, like I was watching or listening to like this thing, and it was like this person was like asked, like their boss literally just like put them into the room and fired them just because they made like something around social media. Like they're like, do you want to fucking work professionally, or like do you want to work like or some shit like that. I don't know, I was watching some interview or listening to some interview where they basically got told if they want to make any type of content, then they can't work there anymore. But I mean, I kind of understand it to a point of like, so like if you're some fucking like if you're like an owner of a business, you're not gonna want some fucking smuck. But it's like if they're already a hard worker and like, I don't know, maybe it's just political reasons, like they just don't want to be, they want to see to the majority over that one person.
the most intolerant group wins. It's all about taking it from being a meritocracy to now being, instead of getting hired for what you can do and the contents of your character and like the merit of your skills and your talents, it's more of like your marginalized victimhood or your genitalia or your history or your oppression. It's like it's not anymore going to be that you're the best person for the job. It's that you're the person that's got to be there because our company will get hit with a sanction if you're not.
Yeah, because they don't want, just they can't have that kind of stuff. They can't have people like, you can't have someone like working for, like, you can't hire someone that says fucking nigger online and is well known, because then someone's gonna come to your fucking work or some shit and probably shoot the bitch up, you know.
But you can hire people that say murder a straight white man on your way to work today, and he's
Yeah.
verified on Twitter. Or the people that threaten to shove the Covington kids into a wood chipper and they're verified on Twitter. But
Or
this is
people
all
that say
an old
Trump needs to
conversation.
die. Or, yeah, it is old. Like, this is all shit probably back from like 2016, you know.
Yeah, people have already had these conversations. People have already talked about the Covington kids. People have already talked about Trump. People have already talked about, I mean, as they're calling him,
Well,
Chump.
Trump
The
is.
Trump train has completely lost any steam that it had because he's not doing anything except for people like him and people that stand to benefit from
Other
being in that
countries.
world. Yeah,
The
can't
business
talk
world
about
is all about international trades.
Can't
It's
talk about
not.
our greatest ally, but it's what it is. And once you know that, you're basically like, well, I for one welcome our overlords, because if you say shit, you will be canceled, shut down. Especially if you want a job, especially if you stand to make any money. If you're in a position where they can levity your ability to feed your loved ones or yourself, then they'll make you shut up. They'll censor you. They'll silence you. They'll unperson you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get censored one day, like, like honestly. But honestly, I really don't care. I'll just
If
make
we
a new.
were anybody's, we would, but they don't even probably. We're not even on anybody's radar.
Yeah, not yet. Y'all should make us
One
on
of
the
the
radar.
could have been nobody's podcast.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, man. I have ambitions, you know. Like, I think everyone has ambitions. I don't know. Like,
But it's how they get us with the ambitions to be like them, because they always hold up their world to be the success, the place you want to
oh
be.
no, not like that. No, that's not what I mean by ambition. My ambition is more, I don't know really how to explain it, but it's more like I wanna leave history behind, you know? I don't know, maybe, cause I'm very into like all the shit that happened before us, you know? Like, even though it probably gets scrapped, like everything does, like now, if I'm looking for anything that I may have heard back then, I can't even find those videos anymore. Like, some shit, like, I don't really know any good examples, but like, there's videos and there's books and there's just all this stuff that is just disappearing. But because it's so old, no one gives a fuck about the old stuff, only the new. But it's the old stuff that matters to shed light on the new. Because why would
You know where
anyone?
you're going unless you know where you've been.
Yeah, like, it's like
One thing's for sure, we'll never know where we've been. I mean, you get into mud flood type theories and
mud
the ancient
floods,
world and things
fucking.
where it's like they won't tell you at all what happened and why they find pyramids all over the world and different types of architecture, like Roman aqueduct architecture in the Amazon that they found through like bird's eye view camera shots from satellite imagery. And you're like, why is that in the Amazon?
Why
Okay.
is that there? And no one goes there, no one. And even for the people that do,
My
who
dad went
knows?
to the Amazon in 2012 when he went to become a shaman, went to drink ayahuasca. He met the lead game designer of Naughty Dog Games there, Jacob Minkoff. It was around the time they were working on Uncharted 2. I still
Oh
have his
wow.
business card.
Oh
And
wow,
then he
that's
went
crazy.
to Burning Man with Jacob
Burning Man, yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
where like a bunch of
2012.
that's where people like
It's in the Black Rock Desert in Nevada. For 7 days out of the year, it becomes the third largest city in that area.
yeah, I mean, I think the
And
whole
it
thing
disappears
about
overnight.
I think the whole thing about like shit like that is that all just kind of sounds like a cultic type shit. Like
You would
Burning
think that,
Man.
but Burning Man to me is something that I can't possibly know unless you actually go and experience it. Like, it looks like, I mean, for one thing, it looks like the biggest party you could ever experience. They've got everything from freaking, what's it, like a huge Thunderdome where you can actually get into like Amp Guard fights or like huge stylistic battles with like from Mad Max or whatever. Everybody's driving around art cars. It's all based off of the principles of like, and I'm probably gonna butcher these, but I doubt anybody's watching the game for Burning Man, of like
Apocalypse.
radical inclusion, no moop, which is matter out of place. You leave no trace. You like pick up every like even after everything was done after the festival and after the 7 days. My dad said he had a really great time. I mean, there was all sorts of stuff there. Like every year, it's different. When he went with Jacob Minkoff in 2012, it was the theme was fertility, but then I think last year the theme was I think they did like a something posh punk theme or something like that. It was like something like
Yeah,
cyberpunk, but it was mixed with some other type of thing.
yeah, like
I definitely want to go, but it's
steampunk.
definitely like a thing that you need to. No, it was like that, but it was mixed with something else. It was like steampunk mixed with I forget. It was a weird name. I think it was a new type of style, but
Yeah,
it's something you have to get on the internet for and basically not leave that site at all and keep refreshing it every single day and night until the tickets go up for sale, and then you have to hope that you get one because it's like becoming very exclusive. It's another thing that is being gentrified and taken away from the people that started it by the rich because Burning Man originally just started in 1983, I'm pretty sure, whenever a guy took an effigy of his ex-girlfriend out to the Black Rock Desert to burn it.
yeah. An effigy is like, fuck. I think I only know what that's like where you put someone as like,
It's like a representation of like a person. It's like a dummy, basically.
okay. Cause like effigies from what I know, cause there's a game called The Forest. That's how I even know anything about effigies. And like you would take cannibals or you'd like cut off cannibals' limbs, and then
Spoilers.
you would huh?
Spoilers.
I mean, not really. I mean, besides that game's kind of dead anyways.
I always wanted to try The Forest, but I'm like, it's just a survival game, so I'm not gonna buy it.
It's
I
not
love survival
actually like a
games.
crate. It's a story game actually.
Then I'll probably check it out because I've always wanted to. I know it's like you crash and then there's naked cannibals and like it looks like terrifying.
No,
But
like there's a
I
story
love
to it.
shooting games.
There's four different endings, I'm pretty sure.
Once I get done with Breath of the Wild, then I gotta move back on to Shenmue and complete those.
Yeah,
And
the
then
whole
I'm gonna
Shenmue
start.
series.
And once I get my new place, I gotta go back to VR. Still gotta beat Rick and Morty Virtual Reality, and then
Yeah.
Apex Constructs. I literally can't play those right now because my room is too small. You need a lot of room for those ones.
Oh, nice.
Apex Construct is one of the coolest ones I found. I'd say it's a killer app.
I don't know, maybe it's
Please,
just me,
killer
but
app.
I feel
VR.
like if I was in VR, I wouldn't want to stand up, but maybe it's motion sickness or some shit, I don't know.
There's a lot of them where you don't have to stand up, but the majority of them you gotta move around. You gotta get into it. I like it because it's like acting, but yeah, it's not something you're gonna play after doing 9 hours of a shift or whatever, and you come home and be like, "All
Yeah.
right, everybody, clear out. Put on my space helmet.
Yeah,
Start
like
blowing
I don't know, man. I'd
s'mores
rather
into the
just lay
dancing
down
around."
it. I'd
I'm
rather
tired.
I'd rather just lay down in bed, like just chilling, you know? 'Cause it's like
Yeah.
I'm not really.
Well, I don't doubt that eventually it'll be like less bulky. It won't be even like the blank
It's
check
goddamn
or
gonna be
Richie
like
Rich
that.
equivalent of what it used to be in the 90s. It's gonna be like a sleep mask. It's just gonna be like a little
Yeah,
pad that you slip over your eyes, and it's like PlayStation 5 VR.
Yeah, I mean, with how compact they're making everything, yeah, I wouldn't be
Yeah, I
surprised.
wouldn't be surprised.
Because what they do is, like, they got, like, I think they're called, like, slim computers or some shit. Like, they name it the Slim. Because it's so goddamn, like, skinny.
They name everything slim. They always come out with the base model, then they come out with the Xbox One S, they come out with the Nintendo 2DS, they come out with the
Oh,
3DS
yeah, I remember all
XL, they
that.
come out with it's always like, you slim it down, and they make it bigger, then they make it smaller, then they make it more silent, then they make it compact, then they
And
discontinue
then,
it, then they bring out the next model.
at least they
Like,
don't
the
do what,
next model on
phones
the
do.
DS is gonna be crazy, I hear. It's going to be something else entirely. Like Nintendo is putting all new tech into it, which I don't really know why they're going to do that because the Switch is already doing so well, and it's basically just like the DS as a console.
Yeah, at least they don't do what phones do. Like, you know what phone companies do?
What?
So in order to actually to keep you, because you ever notice that your older phone starts to
Oh yeah, you're
wear,
talking about how they start to slow it down, and more
yeah,
and more
like,
that you don't update, that you don't upgrade, your thing just becomes a useless brick.
yeah, like
Apple,
how,
I think, is actually facing litigation right now. I could be wrong, but I heard that they're facing litigation right now over that they've been making old phones like brick up and slow down and not update right, and just because it's like, yeah, they want to keep pushing you forward into the next model, into the next
yeah,
upgrade.
because if you always remember it, like I remember having
You gotta
a
get the iPhone
Samsung
Y.
7 and it feeling just as fast as my Samsung like 9 or some shit. And when I went back to my Samsung 7 phone, that shit was slow as fuck. And I don't think, and I truly don't believe that it's because like I truly believe that it is that situation that they do that because I mean it's all money though. Like I understand because if like if you're a company and you can only make very small minor improvements to the phone, mainly aesthetically, you know. I could see myself like doing some shit like that to get people to buy the new phones. Yeah, but
I
I
know.
could.
Phones are weird. They just keep upgrading them and upgrading them until eventually the point you're holding a tablet again.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know, man. Like you gotta have like a fucking goddamn trap phone, like a fucking flip phone and shit. Like I know some people that just use a flip phone and that's it, and it works for them. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm too much into shit like social media and just researching shit that I feel like I need a phone, you know, for other
I
shit.
just use my phone to order stuff offline and read about stuff. But yeah, it's like you can't really have a. And like whenever somebody sends you a picture, they're like, "Oh look, dude, aliens spotted over," and that'll probably never happen. But let's say that they're like, they actually saw a gray, and then they send you the picture, and you're on a flip phone. All it looks like is a pixelated, like mosaic image because it can't handle the amount of pixels that phone has.
Yeah, with the camera.
So they pretty much make it to where you have to upgrade. You have to like follow suit with the rest of the world, or you'll be left behind. Like
Yeah,
eventually,
and
it's
they're
like
making phones more trackable now and shit. I mean, there's
making
even
everything trackable. Anybody that thinks they're gonna live off the grid, anybody that thinks they're gonna fight the man, or they're gonna find out who the Illuminati are and stop them, it's like you're living in a
uh,
world of like I was 13 or 15 when I thought that like the Illuminati is nothing. It's a goose chase. It's a red herring. It's a MacGuffin. It's just the catalyst to string you along to keep you going and not following the actual legit crime syndicate that probably controls this world. That if you get in their way, you'll be killed, like everyone that ever was. So I don't know why people think that they're going to stop anything or live off the grid. It's like you're not going to do shit. They do these things. They almost push people along. They almost subtly change the world in their direction. Just kind of like, what are you going to do about it? What the fuck are you going to do? What, like they're
yeah,
almost like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
nothing, nothing.
Not going to do anything. No one's going to do anything, and the world is going to subtly change for their favor, as it always has, as it always will.
Yeah, and I mean, like honestly, like That is true. Like, you can't really do anything in that kind of situation. Like,
Yeah, no. My generation watched 10,000 people die on national television in 9/11, and what is it like?
I don't really get 9/11 though. I feel like it's
Like
not that big of a deal, to be honest.
19, 20 years later, if you think it's not that big of a deal and you have no idea how much we lost. I mean, we got the Patriot Act, we got the surveillance state, the police state, we have the
Oh
absolute
yeah, that
fall of
is true.
liberty. Like, since 9/11, the world never got, in terms of America, which pretty much everybody thinks of as the world, and in a lot of places compared to it may as well be, it never got better. Nothing ever got better. Things only got worse.
Yeah, I feel like
Kids grow up nowadays just thinking that, yeah, you get your genitalia messed with when you go to the airport and the TSA sticks their hands down your pants. That's just what happens. That never was a thing. I flew on so many airplanes when I was a kid. When I went to Michigan, when I went to other places out of the state, like
and they
it
made
was
and it
never
was
a thing.
probably cheaper too because the security, security
Yeah.
you need to pay, and that's an extra.
I mean, people that aren't even building seven or past that in this conversation, they don't care. They don't give a goddamn. And that's why they can get away with it. That's why they don't even have to try anymore with these things. Because they control the world. And I'm old enough now to basically be like, I don't care. Like, they're going to do whatever they want. And we are not going to stop them. No one is
All
going
we
to go
can
out
do
and
is
be the
talk
lone
about them.
martyr to be shot and that's what they want you to do. They want you to become. They want you to bite them so they can muzzle you. They want you to. They want you to fucking attack them so they can be justified in taking more of your liberty away and censoring you more and shutting your speech down more. They
Yeah, I
want
mean
you
that's
to be
why.
a nihilistic psychopath. They want you to snap. They want you to be a school shooter.
Yeah, and then
They
because
want you to be another statistic because it makes the narrative work.
numbers don't lie.
So the most powerful thing you can do is basically ignore them. Maybe one day the world will fall. Maybe one day there'll be a boog. I doubt it. I really do.
Yeah,
There probably never will. And if there's a revolution, maybe allegedly any of these sons of bitches would be ripped limb from limb in the street by the people that they try so hard to fly above and stay apart from and
well,
completely. As the wealth
all
gap
the
grows and grows and
snaps
grows,
were
they want
like,
to talk about a wage gap. There is only one gap, and that is the wealth gap. Even if there's a wage gap, and people still believing the narrative of whatever the media is telling them to believe. And I don't know much, but I know that anybody believing that doesn't really think for themselves. And the truly terrifying thing is when you realize how outnumbered you are by the people that don't think. They're just going to go along and float through life.
and like the whole thing about like school shootings, like they just see it as a number. Like they don't even care about the people as much as they say that they
I think
care.
honestly they see it as a way to push the gun control narrative further along because there's been a lot of cases which again people look this up because I'm probably not even the person to go to for the facts on this, but I think there's been a few cases where FBI was specifically warned about a kid who was going to shoot up a school and then they just let this stuff go ahead anyway because it pushes the gun control narrative along. I know there was this one middle school girl who her dad foiled her plan to shoot up the school because he saw her text or something on her phone, so he got her before she got to the school, which is like a woman couldn't even shoot up the school right. But that's beyond the point.
Oh wow, nice.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can shoot up a school better than you.
I mean, the first school shooting that ever happened, it's very
Columbine. Eric
that was
and
the only.
Dylan.
Yeah, that was really the only school shooting that ever seemed to be. Apparently, they just left him there. Like, they just let him kill people on the inside because they didn't know what to do.
It was because they had heard that the boys had planted bombs throughout the facility, and there were bombs in the cafeteria, there were bombs at the entrance. They never went off. Like the plan that those guys had that day was supposed to be a lot more like brutal and grisly and violent. They wanted to, and I mean, they basically succeeded in what they were doing because that's the one that not even conspiracy theorists look back at Columbine and are like, there was multiple shooters or there was more going on than meets the eye. It's like, no, it was just some freak fucking accident where two highly disturbed kids, one who probably would have went along with gay sex, had was it Eric Ben Gay, but he happened to be a murdering psychopath, so Dylan just helped him murder people because Dylan was just a pushover. Dylan was just like a loner kid who he probably didn't want to do any of that shit. Eric was the one, like, if you read his diaries, if you go through his memoirs and shit, that kid was a volatile, like, sociopath. He knew what he was doing. He knew what the media was gonna freak out about. They knew that, like, he was basically like, this is gonna
Push
like,
for them.
it was like the perfect Columbine was like the perfect capstone to the 90s, a generation of Beavis and Butthead and ultra violence and fucking extreme and this ain't your parents' generation. And like it was basically the perfect capstone to end off that entire time because it was like just the end of the innocence of that era.
Yeah.
Much like the Manson murders were the end of the Summer of Love.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, when I was younger, I used to think, like, shit, like, as far as, like, bullying, I guess you could say. I don't know if bullying's the exact word, though, but, just, I thought it was, I don't know, I believe everyone plays a role.
All the world's a stage.
And,
Really part.
well, I don't know, I believe in a lot of things. And, I don't know, I believe more that I should just ignore shit like that, you know? Like, and just not worry about shit like that. But it's like, you gotta talk about it, though. It's interesting to talk about, you know? Because you can learn things, pick up things. Like a lot of reasons why I like things like podcasts and like people that do podcasts is because it's more like it's interesting to watch someone talk about things that they're interested in, you know? Because then you might be able to get interested in it. You might be able to have enjoyment in things like just talking in general, because a lot of people don't talk, and that's, I think, the problem. Maybe not, maybe I'm completely wrong, but like if people don't talk about shit, then what solutions, like sibling fights, like if you're a sibling and you're gonna go fucking, so what? Oh, fucking, I don't like this motherfucker because, like, you're not working towards a solution, you know? Like, there is no solution. All that you're creating for yourself is more problems. Not saying that there's anything necessarily really, like, I don't give a shit. Like, suck my dick. Like, but other people may not see it that way, but, like, it's fine, you know, like, everyone's entitled to their own opinion and shit, but no one works towards a solution because nobody criticizes in which they love. So, let's say I was, like, saying, like, fuck you, you're wrong, like, I don't, like, yes, or like, oh, like, I'm not even gonna consider what you have to say because you're this or that. Like, everyone, like, oh, you're a fucking nigger, so fucking I'ma just not consider what you have to say, or oh, you're fucking white, so I'ma, like, it's all the same. There's no solution in the end. Everyone gets lost in a pit full of stubbornness. Everyone get lost in a pit full of, like, right now I feel like I'm in the best spot as far as like maybe mindset, maybe it's not mindset. I feel like I just don't worry like I used to. Like, it's not the end of the world, it's not the end of my life. Just keep pushing through. And then, yeah, I mean, unless I was getting fucking about to go to jail for 32 years for some bullshit. Honestly, I really couldn't see myself killing myself right now. And maybe that's a bad thing, maybe that's a good thing, maybe. It depends on how you really look at it. But,
I always feel like an old man because the majority of my friends have already killed themselves
yeah.
long ago.
I mean, like, the whole thing about people killing themselves, most people that say they're thinking about killing themselves never do it.
Yeah, they're not doing it. My friends didn't talk about it. They just, like, every one of my friends that has committed suicide, they were people that I thought were going to go way farther in life than me.
Yeah, I
It's really
mean,
weird.
it's because it's like,
Two of my friends killed themselves in the same day.
damn, that sucks, man. I
Yeah,
tried killing myself, and
small town.
I tried killing myself off Benadryl as fuck. Like, y'all can laugh at that. I don't really care. It's all in the past. But I took 85 pills and tried to kill myself with that. Nobody
I
knew
never
it.
did, but everybody tries. I think everybody is suicidal. I think the people that you meet that are like, well, what the fuck is wrong with those people? It's like, I think those people are the ones that have yet to face the dark night of the soul, and they're usually the ones that, the moment some little thing goes bad in their life, they jump off a cliff.
Maybe, maybe not. It really depends. Like, I mean,
Because I believe the
if I
people that
was
don't
to,
have those moments where, like, people that think if you get depressed or sad, or if you're ever
like,
emotional, then you're
like if
broken. It's
I
like
was having,
people that are
if I
always
had a
happy and broken.
comfortable, like, if I had a comfortable life where I never learned anything, like, if I lived my life every day without having to worry about, like, someone fucking about to fucking just try something on me, or like, I don't know, 'cause it's like people, like, I live every day knowing that there's a fuck ton of people that don't like me, and I know that because I've been fucking I guess you could say exiled from people in certain
Persona
places.
non grata.
I don't know what that is, but I've been exiled from places, I've been exiled from groups, I've been, so I understand, like, I have to, like, I've been, like, as far as me, like, the one problem I have, the one thing that hits me, and the one thing, yeah, I guess you could say hits me, or like fucks with me, is my loneliness. Like, I don't know, until recently, for a long time, I didn't really know how to deal with loneliness, cause like a lot of people, um, like, so, like, imagine this, like, no one wants to hang out with you. You have no mom to talk to. Your dad's always busy. Your mom's fucking dying, so you have no mom to talk to. So, and your dad's always busy, you know? Fucking, like, what do you do from there? Like, no one will want to hang out with you. No one wants to talk to you. And then, let alone that, no one wants their kids to hang out with you, for anyone that does hang out with you, for the parents, because parents just see you as some fucking asshole that's misunderstood. Like, I've been there. I've been exiled from people. Literally, like, I've been in situations where, like, people just didn't even show up to my birthday. Like, I've had birthdays where no one even said happy birthday to me. I've had day like, I don't know,
Simple.
maybe it's just me and seeing into someone
Incomprehension.
else. Like, if, like, maybe it's just me
Right,
and
that's
I
most
see
people,
into
man.
other people's lives, and they get people saying happy birthday to you, and fucking people care about them, and like like, and I just have never had that my whole life, cuz my mom was dying. Fucking, I was a fuck up kid that just no one would let even talk to people, and then I have to deal with people's bullshit of just not liking me, and like getting fucked over because people don't like me, getting fucked over because fucking my race, getting fucked over for just all this shit. And it's like, I don't, I didn't really know how to deal with that until like recently. Like, now I think I'm fine because I feel like I just don't need anybody. I feel like I feel like it's nice to have people around, but you need to focus on yourself maintainly. Maintain your body, maintain your mind, maintain your will, maintain everything, because that is all you have at the end of it. If everything got taken away from you tomorrow, and I mean really think about this, if everything got taken away, your belongings, your fucking house, your living space, your car, your fucking shoes, your clothes, what do you have left? You have you have your mind, you have your body, you have what is very foundation, and then you build yourself back up. There is no, there's no, there's no in between. That's what you have, and that's a fact, whether you, depending on how, it's a fact no matter what, because that's something that is static. It is just there. It exists. It is
Well,
not.
people try to say you're gonna die alone. It's like we all die alone. We're all alone in the end. Like no
Because
matter
even
what,
if
you're not going
some,
to
like, even, like,
unless you both
because
hold each other and jump in a
out of a
volcano.
fucking, or out of a building, like that shit in
Yeah, out of a
9/11, like,
building,
there
and
was
you'll probably
a,
die first because one of you will freak out and she's gonna push you. You'll be like, "Ah!"
like, yeah, like, they try and make stories about true love, but it doesn't, even if there is true love, even if you are around someone every day, even if you are, like, working every day, even if you are, think that you're in
I believe
love,
there is
think that
true
you're,
love, but I believe that most people, like what most guys don't understand is like guys nowadays would be like, why are women thoughts, or why is the world like this? Or if guys think it's a good thing that women are thoughts and they can get the ultimate reward for nothing, it's like you're going towards a dark, dark future, and you're probably gonna have no future, or if you do, your kids are gonna be the same hedonists, nihilistic, just degenerate, just completely like our world has basically gone away from, and it's like I'm not even trying to be I'm not even trying to evangelize or preach at anyone, but if you really look at our world, we have gone away from any God whatsoever. And when you go away from God, then all that lies is the other way is moral relativism. It's you
because,
basically like, well, I mean, there is no hell, so we can do whatever we want. We can have trans kids on TV. We can have shows like Big Mouth on Netflix with childhood nudity in them. We can do whatever we want. No one is going to smote us. There is no fire and brimstone. There's no lightning coming down out of the sky. It's like, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm gonna fucking look at incest porn. It's like, no, man, we're all going to hell because we're all living in it. Because everything is getting normalized to the point where, like, the greatest paradox is that guys, everyone, when I was growing up, when my nephews were, when my brother was, like, every guy, you all want to have sex, but you want to marry a virgin. Now, how the fuck do you think that's going to work when women just, in the realest sense, and this is another thing that will get you canceled just saying facts like this, but it really is the truest form of it, is that women just do what men want. The most alpha men, the most men that, like, that tingle women, that make women like, oh yeah, I'm fucking this dude tonight, like I don't even have to think about it, yet some guys would have to work for it. They do what those men want. They follow what those men want, and they fucking abide by it. These guys wanted sluts. These guys wanted thoughts. Men wanted to become absolute shadows and shells of their forebears. And what their forebears did also didn't help, but it really brings it back to when men became degenerates, when we all became hedonists, when porn became normalized to the point where you're so sedated, so passively just enthused by any video you can click on, and you have all you believe that you're like you have a harem of women when really all you've got is Rosie Palm. And as
you
the
have
world
nothing.
descends further and further
You don't.
away from the family unit, from the destabilization of it, from the man's place in it disappearing and fading into oblivion, women becoming empowered, women and men growing up, dying alone, because women don't understand what they signed up for when they signed up for equality, is they signed up to basically do what men have done and what men are designed to do and what we're probably going to do, what anybody likes it or not, if you're a guy out there, if you're a boy out there, is that if you're in the 30% of men that are part of the sex drought, the Great American freaking sex drought. If you've never even kissed a girl, if you've never even had an experience with a girl, like there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let that validate you. There really is more to life than allowing the
A girl just to come.
orifice to validate you. A woman should be an accessory to your successful life, not the object of it. But beyond that, there really is no point anymore to try to have that sense of validation or to do that. So as more and more men recede away from the world, and as the family unit dies, and as men and women become an egalitarian, gray, amorphous blob marching forward in a new society that's like, oh, it's so progressive and it's such a brave new world and everything's gonna be fine, and it's like, yeah, but how is, and they're like, the future is female, the future is childless, and it's like, does that make any sense? That's a fucking paradox. Like, there's not, so they don't want anybody to have children anymore, especially white people. They won't tell that to the Muslims or to any of the immigrant communities or to Hispanics, because they still breed like rabbits. That's just a fact. I give a fuck what anybody says. But they'll tell it to us. And as time goes on, as everything slips further and further, like, what I believe America is going to be one day when it's no longer America is it's just going to be
The
like
far
a
their
lawless
blood
hive
gets.
of scum and villainy. It's going to be a Mos Eisley cantina, an open hub for the rest of the world to flow in and out of, to pillage as they see fit, for our free services that continue to collapse the system as more and more people of a certain type continue to come in and vote of a certain way because they do, whether it's ethnocentricity or racial solidarity, and nobody will call them racist, but that's just how it is. And I'll die in this fucking country, an old man, and they'll probably be like, fucking Nazi, die, Nazi. And it's like, it'll be funny because
Die, bitch!
That's
Murder him!
point, it's
Fucking
going to be,
Put him on a fork! Fucking
nothing's
kill
gonna
him!
change other than what they want to change. Like, nobody's gonna do shit. Nobody's gonna stand up when they come to take the guns. Nobody's gonna do anything. Like, if any of you are out there and you're 13 or you're 12 and you think you know anything about the Illuminati, you think you know anything about Bilderberg or Alex Jones memes or any of this stuff, Epstein didn't kill himself, like, just know that in the most simplest of terms, to put it in like
You're
just layman's terms, the world is controlled by a global crime syndicate. And if you present any threat at all, they'll kill you. So just go back to your quiet little life and just hope that you never are noticed. All you can really do is make your life good, because if you suffer, if you make your life shitty, or even in your own little bubble where you're resigned to, you're going to live and die and suffer in that for many years before you finally expire. Because most people think it's just that you suffer and die. It's like, no, you suffer.
suffering in a pool of lava, suffering.
80 years, for 90 years, and then you die. So you still should be out there. You shouldn't be blackpilled to the point of like, yeah, man, the world's controlled by freaking evil globalist billionaires, Luciferian, Canaanite, ancient sodomite, Moloch worshiping rituals and all that shit. It's like, no, you shouldn't care about any of that, because you still have to wake up. You still have to get a good job. You still have to provide for the people that, if you have a soul, you should give a fuck about. Because no matter what, you're going to die, and the winter is going to come back
And you
around
still need
year after
and
year.
you still need to live. You still need to eat. You still
like
need to
they said in
breathe.
1984,
You still need water.
proles and animals are free. That's all we are. We're the proles. We're the proletariat. They're the bourgeoisie. Even though they want to make it that white men are the bourgeoisie nowadays, and that anybody who is a marginalized, victimized, oppressed group is the proletariat.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter. It'll keep going on that way and on and on and on, because the world has been the same since somebody first scratched a statistic into stone or wood, probably. There has been the high, the middle, and the low. And the aims of these three groups are different, but they vary somewhat in their goals. Is that the high wants to stay where they're at, the middle wants to switch places with the high, and the low, who are often so preoccupied with the daily rigmarole and the chores of their lives, They have no aims. They have no goals. They just live from paycheck to paycheck, and they just survive. Because that's all you can do when that's all you have. And in more than one way, no matter what it is, no matter what society, no matter what ism or ist or rhetoric or philosophy or theory or ideology or anything that's sprung up around a civilization, it's always that, and it always will be that. And here we are, playing games that also in a macro sense, I think represent it better than anything. I mean, what is it whenever you jump on a game like Warframe and you're a noob to this universe, yet these people who look like gods to you have been there since you even knew this game existed. They've been there playing this game, they know everything you don't, and they're not going to tell you shit because that gives them the edge over you.
Well, some people do, but that's just because it's a game and it's not real life. If it's real life, it's different.
I know, but you can look at it as above, so below. I know it's a game.
It's more with Ark. Like, if you play on like any Anarchy survival world, just because I don't think Warframe is an okay example, but like if you play on a server,
like every player that was Prime, they would just stand there and basically not say anything, not chat, not do anything. It was like they knew what they were and they knew what made them better. Like, I played enough free-to-play games and enough video games in general. Like, gamers don't even understand that they really do point out the example of what the rich do. Like, as the growing divide between the rich and the poor just becomes like, who?
They want to get richer while you get poor.
It's like gamers couldn't even give a fuck about the early adopters, where it's like, look, some people are going to get a lemon. And it's like, yeah, if you still say that, then you're probably one of the ones that uses your mom's credit card, or you mow lawns every now and then, or you just don't have your own disposable income yet. You have no idea how hard it is to work for something that's like, oh,
like in Ark,
I just got a broken model. I just got a piece of shit.
Like in Ark, there's players that go on runs on this game Ark. There's players that go on runs to kill any new player that just spawn in. They spawn trap players because it keeps them from playing and their alpha tribe get dominated.
Yeah, and I'd like those guys to get some serious money to go try to play in the big leagues in the real world and see how quickly you're bought out or eminent domained or done whatever they want to, because they've got all the money in the world and you don't have shit. And they think it doesn't like, it's like, yeah, man, that's exactly what people do. It's the macrocosm of the world being represented in the microcosm of games or sports or the intersexual dynamics of men and women or politics.
Look, and don't just think that just because he said that, don't think that getting bought out is not necessarily a bad thing. Know your price if you're gonna get bought out first, because a lot of people that wait on good contracts actually do live a decent life. It's not wait on your contract. Don't sell yourself out too early, if that makes sense. Like,
most people that think that they're ever even going to have a chance to sell out don't even understand how hard success truly is to attain. Because as a kid, I was one of those cliched people where you're like, man, these sellouts, or like, you can never sell out, man, or like these bands that become like so big and then they go from like being an indie label, like playing in like underground gigs where it's like that Scott Pilgrim type shit where you're not going to know about them unless you were there, or you got the flyer, or you got the viral message on the deep web, or whatever the hell it was. And it was like, then people get bigger and they get more studios and they get more money and they get, and some part of you is like, man, why are you going to sell out, man? Why? It's like, if anybody has ever tried out there to have a successful creative endeavor or to do something more than yourself,
because if you want to expand,
not only is everyone ever going to give a fuck about you, but no one's probably ever going to give a fuck about you even enough to offer you the check to sell out. So when I got older, I'm like, yeah, man, I sell out in a fucking instant, because people have no idea how hard it is to even get noticed, to where people are like, so do you, like, are you on board? Most people will just toil in just seclusion and solitude for the rest of their lives until they die, and their work will be a mediocre testament to their cowardice. And I'm speaking as myself as well. Because you truly realize that to sell out, you'd have to have anyone to give a fuck in the first place. And that's the real kicker.
Yep. But I mean, everybody does have a price, though. I mean, like, I'm not saying, like, yes, sell out if you need to. Like, but if you don't need to, don't.
Oh yeah, people that don't realize how much money they truly need, they are the ones that be like, man, I never sell out. It's like until you actually have to be in reality for a decade.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, like, I'm not gonna sell out, like this podcast, like, I'm not gonna sell it out unless the fucking check was goddamn enormous. Like, if it's truly something I'm passionate in, then that's different. Like, I believe there's something in passion, you know, there's a truth in passion. There's a truth that people can say, like you can just tell when someone's being, I guess, more, I don't know, passion doesn't lie, in my opinion.
Sincere.
Yeah, sincerity. Because sincerity will show. It does. It really does. I can tell when just...
Yeah, it's like JRE, like 6 years ago when him and Brian Redband were just...
Like, imagine if GTA...
And it's like JRE today, which is like not live anymore, completely scripted, sanitized, basically the Walter Cronkite of the Gen Z and somewhat my millennials.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and the funny thing is that there's a saying, I think, it's like, change is coming and you can't stop it, and honestly, you can't. As far as
change
adapting,
is the only constant in life.
And as far as adaptation, I don't even know, because it's like a lot of people, like one day eventually everybody's gonna fucking die. Everyone. There's not gonna be anyone existing.
There are still people out there that don't that haven't had that epiphany yet, that truly are like, what's that asshole talking about? Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna die, whatever. Yeah. Like, they truly believe that, like, it's not gonna happen. Like, I remember when I was younger, and you have that moment where you realize, you're like,
life's just gonna stop. And you just don't exist.
I think about that all the time. I'm going skydiving in 2 weeks, like the 22nd or whatever, right around spring. But yeah, it's like, we don't know what it is. No one can tell you what it is. Nobody can... And that's the thing, too, is that nobody talks about it enough to be like, because you try that. You try to ask people, like, where are we going, man? It's like, we're on a giant generation ship that there's no captain, there's no flight deck, there's nobody you can even ask. You wake up out of your pod, you come to, and eventually one day you're walking around, the other people are on the ship, and it's going somewhere, it's just floating through space. If we are, it's a whole other conversation. And no one cares. Like, nobody ever asks that, because most
you're just
people
a flyover state to people
better than you to be able to ask that.
Or they're doing too well or too busy to ask that.
They don't fucking care. The game is working well for them. They don't give a fuck if you want to tip the board over. It's like when you're losing in a board game and you're just done with this shit, but your friend is like, no, dude, you can't get out of the game because I need to steal your pieces.
Yep. You already know you're gonna lose.
Well, again, they want you to know. They want it to be a rigged game. They want it to be that you have nothing, that you have no family, I mean, all these guys that are like, man, fuck you, I get my dick wet every night. It's like, when you realize how much of a sex-crazed heathen you are, if you ever try to crawl out of that maelstrom, you're probably going to have a real hard time grappling with that addiction. Or if you realize that you're probably never going to find a wife that you would want to invest anything into, because in the sense of ROI, you're just dumping that into a void that everybody's already shot just oblivion into. So it doesn't really bode well for the future, but yet all these guys are just like, man, whatever, fucking, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Tinder, it's like, you are the modern man, and the modern man deserves the modern woman. And the modern man dies a modern death.
Look, people, people just want to do what they want to do, you know, like.
We want to have a good time. We want to ride around on our hot. That's not even what it is anymore.
And then they don't leave anything for their kids, and then their kids grow up poor.
And then this generation is like, well, why would I even bring kids into this world? Such is why something like Rick and Morty is so powerfully attractive to this generation. It's why it's the iconography, much like Adventure Time was in the 2010s when it hit the planet like a fucking pop culture comet. But when Rick and Morty is now is like the very essence of nihilism and being an infinitesimal speck in a chaotic maelstrom of a universe that is indifferent to you and everyone you have ever loved, and all you are and all you ever will be doesn't matter, and everything is an infinite joke that has been played out, will be played out, and is being played out a million times over in repetition.
So it just becomes normalized.
And so it's like, no wonder why people identify with the alcoholic madman nihilist character of Rick and the fucking young, like, impressionable, naive kid of Morty who becomes more and more dark and detached as their adventures go on. It's like, but yet the joke of it is that they are constantly throwing it in your face of how it's like, how Rick tells him, like, love is just a emotion that leaves you stranded in a failing, that compels one to breed, leaving you stranded in a failing marriage. And he tells Morty, like, break the cycle, Morty, you focus on science. Yet if you listen to any commentary tracks, any of these tracks with the people that actually write this stuff, they're established Hollywood writers. They're men and women with families and lives and children and wives. Like, all you fucking have is your little cartoon and your little memes. And you're going to wake up one day and realize that it's going to be a dark, long, cold, lonely life, especially if you don't eat right, especially if you don't take care of yourself, and you're expecting anybody to be there at the end to fucking ease your aching bones or your disintegrating, collapsing organs. And yet these guys are 7 figures rich. They couldn't care one iota about you. And that's so much the joke.
7 figures is, I don't want to say even that's rich. I don't know, because a lot of people that have
money nowadays, like, I'm not an idiot. 7 figures, I mean, $100,000, dude, is a lot of money to me. Like, I could make that last the rest of my life, but I'm a minimalist.
Yeah. But, like,
I'm, like, one of the richest people in my town, but I'm in a small town, and, like, it's not much to have 10 grand, but...
It's because no one saves their money.
Yeah, man, nobody does. Most Americans can't even handle a $500 emergency.
Yeah, and then they do everything to jack up the prices, like making fucking diabetic meds, which people need to be fucking goddamn, like, $500 for a fucking needle.
Oh yeah, it's all a racket.
Like, people talk about it,
I think it'd be absolutely
like,
insane to know the true scope of the racket and how
much things really
fucked
cost.
up this world is, and then be like, yeah, I'm gonna bring kids into this world. It's like, nah, I think the people that would say you're selfish for not bringing kids into this world, because you're like, oh no, I'm going to choose oblivion for you, and I will make sure that you never walk on this plane. And it's like, they think you're selfish. It's like, you're just this fucking selfish, knowing how bad this is, or not knowing, and then just like, my pleasure, and then like, whoops, here come 2 sentient beings. And then by 2030, it's like, oh, what happened, kids? You know, America collapsed, and you know, the masses flooded in, and the demographic, the body politic changed, and now we're getting fucking murdered. So,
I mean, shit happens, man. I mean, who knows if that's even gonna happen? Like, it might, but you never know.
Demographics is destiny. That's all I fucking believe. No, I used to be something else. I used to be like one race, the human race, and we don't know what we are, and I was all egalitarian, and you can make everything work, but that's not how it is. That's idealistic. That's not realistic.
And that
way lies a world of dreamers who are going to die when the winter comes and they haven't prepared, and reality sets in, and the consequences kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I prepare. I mean, I still talk about the idealism though, of it because I don't know, maybe one day, but it's very unrealistic because
I'll be
will
Matsusahu.
no one will work together to form a solution. No one will work together to be happy. No one will work together to be to, together. And even if people were pushed to do that, it's probably really fucking. It's people that want you to do that. Because if people get pushed to work together and equality really is gonna happen, then everybody's just gonna be sensitive and no one's gonna be fucking. Like, it's not gonna be true. Because, as with a lot of times, let's say that was the ideal world, like, look, like the whole point of that, the whole point of the true ideal way, the true ideal equality is working together to get shit done. That the quality that you see, the fake equality, is working together to be more sensitive, to be more, oh, think about what, like if someone just fucking spit on your father or some shit, your mother, or so your loved one, like, there was apparently studies where, like, people would actually think about fucking, like, they'd fucking think about it. They'd, like, care for the person. They'd be like, why'd they do that to my mother? No, like, you should beat the fuck out of that person. You should beat the fuck out of them senseless. And anyone that sees that, they should beat the fuck out of them senseless. But no equality. No this or that. It's all the same.
True equality means nobody gets shit. Nobody gets special treatment. You're all nobodies. You're all losers. Shut the fuck up and get to work. But yet, they want equality to be that certain groups are going to get certain advantages because certain groups enslaved certain groups.
Or said things about early on. And like a good equality, like a good true equality would be this: working together to get shit done. Not
What they really want is not us to work together. What they really want, what the actual goal is, and I think it's true, is that they want to find a way, because after the invention of the machine, they pretty much realized that there was going to be enough at a certain point. There was going to be abundance. There was going to be pretty much a new age of, what do you call it, like convenience and the trappings of, like, all the creature comforts of modern life that people come to know as, like, this is my status because I work hard, because I'm better than X or Y. They pretty much realized that after the invention of the machine, that things would get so automated, things would get so perfect that everybody would have enough, that eventually there would be no distinction in classes or wealth,
because it'd all be robots.
Enough to be rich. It'd be like the
no,
Jetsons.
but there's too many people.
But so what they realized is that instead of everyone having enough, because what you would then realize is when we all have an abundance of technology, we're all comfortable, we're all free to think and live and be alive, and
that
everything is just like a utopia, then we'd have enough time to start thinking. And they don't want us to have enough time to start thinking, because then you'd realize that why, if we're all the same, if there's no distinction in class anymore, why do we need a ruling class? And then you would sweep them away just like that. So to figure out a solution to this problem, in order to make sure that everyone doesn't have enough, in order to make sure that you're always forever fighting for status and for a place in this hierarchical society, like, I'm better than that guy, or I'm better than that bum begging for change on the corner.
I'm your manager, I'm your CEO.
Or, yeah, I'm the manager, or I'm not that fry cook, or I'm the guy up in the freaking bank on, like, Wall Street, or I'm in the high tower in New York, or I'm the guy in the White House, or I'm not the guy in my hometown working at the movie theater.
Ranks.
Like, they constantly keep people divided by class, because if we were all abundant, if we all had a lifestyle of, like, technology was where they would let it all be, because there's enough technology out there to where we should all have enough, you know? But what their solution to this problem is that the way that they want to destroy the surplus of consumer goods. So all the goods that I was telling you about, like with the advent of the machine, and then realizing that shit, there's going to be no more need for drudgery or a slave class anymore because everybody's going to have enough at a certain point. They realize that the only way to destroy the surplus of consumer goods without increasing the convenience of, or what, the quality of modern life is to have endless war. Because endless war makes it psychologically okay for you to take all these goods, all your effort, all your taxed muscles, and all your actual creations and your...
Plus, there's a shit ton of money in war anyway, so a lot of companies prepare for war. Like, what a lot of you guys don't realize is that there are companies right now that may seem like you may not hear about them now, but you're gonna hear about them later because there's gonna be a big war. Like right now, like people are predicting that companies are predicting that there's gonna be a war over water. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna do everything they can to make as much fucking money as they can out of that. They're gonna milk it like a goddamn cow and then kill it. Like,
the thing is about the war effort and the war racket and economies in war is that the way that they destroy the surplus goods, the way that they take it and destroy it, everything made in the war economy is nothing that actually supports our world. It doesn't go back into... That's how, like I said, they don't want to improve the quality of modern life. They just want to destroy the surplus goods, but they need us to keep working, to keep providing, supporting the machine. So the way that they make it psychologically okay to destroy all of our labors and everything, because in a society where you would want this done, you could easily get this goal completed by having your slaves dig giant holes and canyons and then fill them back up again. You could have them build giant pyramids and religious idols to a deity or a god, and then have them die during that and get rid of the labor that way. But it psychologically wouldn't make sense to them. They would eventually revolt and murder you. But having endless war makes sense because it is, in a certain sense, like when the war is endless, it just becomes as if, and I'm probably butchering this when I talk about this, but it's like if it was peaceful, if we lived in a utopia where there was no conflict, where every country got along, where we were all hands across the water, across the entire globe, and everything was copacetic, it would basically be as if there was always a war on anyway, because peace without end is almost a war in a certain sense to them. But I'm probably completely destroying this. It's like it's very complex in the ways that they think, because they know we're all really stupid. Like, the most dangerous thing is to think you're smart. Because there's a thing called the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people that are really fucking dumb think they're geniuses. And that's a lot of people out there.
Because you just hear something and you never actually criticize it. You just know what you know. You see what you see, you know what you know. I hear what I hear, I know what I know.
All I know is I'm not dumb. Those guys are smart.
Yep. Hold up. How long have we been running this podcast for? We've been having an hour and 17-minute long podcast. I think that's done for tonight. There might be a few more. We might do a late night with 8 today. You want to do that? You want to do that segment? 8.
We can do that. I'll talk about Breath of the Wild and...
Yeah, alright. So we're probably gonna do a late night with 8 segment, and
up late with 8.
Yeah, up late with 8. Up late with 8, and then we might do another episode today. It depends. I'm also thinking about starting a computer, or a laptop. I'm gonna probably start recording these, and they're not gonna be live. We're still gonna do lives, but I don't know. We're gonna see what's up with that. So yeah.
If anybody takes any of the shit that we just said as you're gonna go tell people like, no, dude, I've done my research. You are being Dunning-Kruger effect. Don't do it.
Yep. Alright,
We're just some guys on the internet.
we're just talking about how we feel, what we think, what's going on. We don't care. We're not here to tell you shit. We're here to just talk and have a discussion.
Yeah,
And
if you really want to know about any of this, you need to go look it up for yourself, and you need to probably spend about half a decade really looking into it. But why would you waste your life? It doesn't matter. You're still going to have to prepare for the winter. You're
still gonna need to live.
Pay rent. You're still gonna have to survive.
Cause if you don't, cause not every, like, even if you're just a kid right now living in your fucking dad's house, you're living for free. Like, you have it better than you'd think. For all the people.
Yeah, start preparing. You're in a position to get a job and save money. Most people in this country can't even support a family right now on a year's income. And then you still gotta pay 1,000 for rent, 700 for rent, 1,200 for rent for a place that hasn't been refurbished since the 1970s. You really want to make money, become a landlord.
Yeah. Alright, man. I think that's the end. Thank you for anybody that tuned in. Thank you for anyone that commented. Thank you for anyone that shares. Please like, share, and because we do these things live, turn on post notifications. If not, you can still watch them after. So it's not even a big deal. Just watch but share the podcast to anyone that you think should hear this or wants to hear this or likes podcasts, you know. And then yeah, keep trying to survive, I guess, even though we all live in chaos, so who knows. Alright, yeah, that's the end.
The only years in your life that you'll ever learn anything are the years you suffer.
Yep. Alright, this is the end. We might come with another live stream later tonight, but we're gonna take a little break. Okay.